Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be a true get ready with me doing a full face makeup look with all of the products from my Shop My Stash. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. I thought it would be fun to do full face makeup looks again in 2025. These are probably videos that are only going to be watched by the loyal subscribers. This is not going to get me a lot of views, but I just really enjoy doing makeup, and I was missing filming makeup related content, like doing my actual makeup on camera for the channel. So I just wanted to bring it back, and I thought I could ease my way back into it with doing a full face makeup look with anything that was currently in my Shop My Stash. So I'm just going to do my makeup as I'm getting ready for work. I'll tell you a little bit about the makeup as I'm using it as well. And I also will be telling you a little bit about my current situation. If my voice sounds a little off, I think I'm coming down with a cold. I felt like my throat was a little bit like, not sore, but you know that feeling when your throat feels like it's getting very raspy? I've had that feeling for 2 days straight, and then I woke up this morning and my voice is starting to go away, which I hope it's not gonna be a true thing, but yeah, I do feel a little bit under the weather, so if I sound off, that's why. I'm gonna start things off with lip balm. This is by C.O. Bigelow, and I always do this at the start of my makeup routine so that by the time I get to my lip products, these are nicely primed and ready to go. And I'm gonna go in with my Glossier Future Dew. This is a very glowy, almost oily primer, I would say, so this is not for you if you have an oily skin type, but for my dry skin in the winter, it's been lovely. And this is one of the oldest products that are currently sitting in my makeup collection, so this is just something that I also need to use up in the next couple of months. And then I'm going to prime my lids with my first primer. This is the NYX HD primer. I do this step to make sure my eyeshadow actually lasts throughout the day. I find that just using a concealer or something like the MAC Paintpot I will be using in a little bit isn't enough on my hooded eyes to make it stick. So that's why I like to go in with a clear primer like this as a first layer, you could say, and I sort of use it on the under eye as well to prevent my concealer from creasing as much. And I find that that's just really, really helpful with just making your eye makeup last a little bit better in general. So this product I like to use at the start of my makeup routine because I feel it needs time to settle to have it do what I want it to do. So that's why I always do the rest of my makeup first before I get to the eye look, because I feel that if I do it the other way around, I'm just going to sit here and wait for this to settle down. And I am heading out to work in a second, so I do need to like keep the train rolling, as you might expect, because I do have to be there on time. Estee Lauder Futurist Hydrarescue in Porcelain, which I'm still trying to use up. It was in my use up pile for 2024. But I'm like, you know what? If I use it for the rest of January, I know I will have had as much use as I possibly could have from this product. And then I think in the declutters that you'll see in March, I think I'll just decide to toss it because this is so far down that I can no longer possibly like pass it on to anyone else. And by now I'm like done with it after having used it pretty much for all the seasons that this was like the right texture and the right shade for me. I just feel that I'm just done with this one now. So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about my life at the second, because I said that in the intro that I was going to give you a bit of an update, because if you saw my Shop My Stash that I did at the start of the month, then you will have heard me say something like, oh, but I don't know how much I'll be able to do my makeup because I'm going to do this pain program, so I'm going to have a lot of doctor's appointments this month, and I don't know how that's going to affect my makeup wearing. I don't really talk a lot about what's actually going on in my private life. It may seem like I share a lot because I do post 4 videos a week, but I try to keep it all makeup focused. I don't really share much about what's going on with me in general. I never show like the people in my life. If I do vlog, just because I feel like, it's not their choice to be online. It is mine. But also, I need to sneeze. But also because I just don't, like, sometimes I don't know whether things are going on, and I just don't like sharing a lot about what's actually going on in my life, because I just like to keep that private. This is forever, so I never really share much about what's actually going on. But I felt I had to say something about that, because I was like, you know what, this could really affect the channel, so then at least some people will know if they've watched that video what's going on. And then I went there for the first day, and because I've been dealing with chronic pain for the past 3 years, and doctors can't figure out what's wrong, and so the last time that I had a huge flare-up, they were like, maybe you should try this pain program thing. So what that is that they take like multiple specialists, like psychologists, physiotherapists, and like all these different people who look at you from like different perspectives, and who are going to help you in this sort of overall, like, outlook, you could say, on, how to deal with the pain, and how to, well, not necessarily minimize the impact, but how you can deal with it a little bit better so that you can get a better quality of life. Because truth be told, yes, this channel was still running, so you probably didn't notice a lot of it, but for the most part, I have been going to work, and then there's very little I can do after work. So like I'll like blog or make a video, but for the most part it was just a bit too overwhelming sometimes, and I just couldn't really live my life for years now the way that I would want it to. So that's sort of what they then help you deal with. And they only do these things if you've tried enough. So you need to have done enough physical therapy on your own, and you need to have already seen like a psychologist, and there shouldn't be too many issues because that's what they cannot resolve. So there was all these conditions. I had a huge like intake for it over the fall time to see if this program could be of help to me, and if like I'm right for the program, because they do this whole like selection process, you could say. So I was selected to participate in this program, and there's a waiting list for it, so I couldn't start it until the new year. Also because I wouldn't be able to arrange anything for work, because it's like 2 whole days where you have to go through like therapy and programs, and it's like all this stuff that you need to do. So it would greatly impact my life. But then, that was bronzer, by the way. That was the Kiko Milano Flawless Fusion in 01, and the Etude House powder in Secret Beam? The Secret Beam powder in light pearl beige. That's what that's called. And I'm going in with my Catrice oil infused highlighter in glowing peony now. Just doing the cheeks here as I'm talking. And so what happened though is that between me doing that intake and the start of this program, I pulled a muscle in my back last November. And it was fine at first. It was just like a regular pulled muscle in your back. It was going away by itself until one morning I woke up and my entire lower back felt like it just had something really heavy resting on it, and it was so painful. I was dizzy. I felt ill to my stomach from the pain. So I tried to see if it would improve on its own for like the next 2 days, and then I called my doctor and they put me on pain meds. Long story short, I was eventually put on pain meds that worked for that pain, but that also started to minimize the pain that I have been dealing with for such a long time. Mind you, this is the 4th painkiller they've tried on me, and it's sort of like a stroke of luck, because the only reason why they gave me this one is because I had an allergic reaction to a different one. It's a whole thing. So it was like this stroke of luck. Oh, and I'm going in with this blush from What's Up Beauty, the one with the blue. I really want to see it on. This is the first time I'm putting it on my cheeks. This is Peaceful Pisa from the Cheek Terry line. And it is quite mind-boggling to me what started to happen after I was on this painkiller. So the first week, I was like, yes, this is working for that lower back area where I like really had all of this discomfort. It's starting to really help. But in week 2 of these painkillers, I started to notice a change in the way I was experiencing the pain that I have been dealing with for the past 3 years. So I called my doctor, said like, hey, can I take it for a little while longer, because in January I will be starting this program, and at least it's going to tide me over, and then I can ask them what they want me to do. So that's exactly what I did, and the longer I was taking this painkiller, the better I felt. It's like every 2 to 3 days there's a layer of pain that's going away. It's been incredibly bizarre, because the thing they try to do at the pain program is to get you to accept that you're in pain and where your pain threshold is and how you can stay within your boundaries. So it's much more about how to deal with the pain rather than trying to minimize it, which is what we're doing right now with the meds. And so they were like, well, once I got there, they were like, yeah, we can't really do much for you if you're on pain meds, but since you're doing this well on them, we do want to ask the doctor that oversees the program to see how he feels. So I was only there for a day, and then I was called by this doctor the next day who said, well, if this is working for you this well, we want to put it on hold for the time being to figure, to give it another chance and see if you can feel even better with these pain meds, and just to see whether it wasn't like the effect of having like Christmas break and like doing all of that. Like, is that the reason why you're doing better, or is it really these meds, or what's going on? So that's what he wanted to sort of have me do. But his suggestion was, as I was talking to him on the phone, that if these meds are working this well for me, there may actually be a physical reason, like there's some ailment going on that they just hadn't found yet. So that's why I decided to call my doctor. I went there yesterday, and now I have a referral to go back to the hospital because the doctor I spoke to yesterday has an idea of what might be up. I can't really say much about it yet because I don't even know exactly what it is. Yeah, that's what I'm going to now be checked out for, to see if that may be the reason why I've been in so much pain, and there's just been a lot of inflammation, and I just need to continue these pain meds now. And the hope is that now that I'm on this pain medication, that's going to minimize the pain in my body, that allows my body to like function again, and that if my body starts functioning again, I can deal with it by myself. That's now the hope that we have. So I have a full month now until the start of February, until they're going to call me again and see what's up. It's been so strange. So for me, it's been this whole new world the past couple of weeks. But because this program was going to have so much impact on my life, I had, of course, had to arrange things at work and arrange things at home and do all of that. So I was like all set and ready to go to start this program. So last week was such a weird, strange week for me. But I'm doing fine. I was like, since I mentioned it in that video, in my Shop My Stash, I do want to speak on it, that there's been a huge update and that I'm doing pretty okay. Like, I'm doing better than I have done in the past 3 years, you could say. But then when I went to see my doctor yesterday, and they're like, now maybe this could still be a thing. But here's the fun part. Every single time I go see my doctor, I see a different person. So they have replacements every single time, but they're there for a few months, and then I see someone else again. So when I was there for the summertime, because I had a huge flare-up of pain over the summertime, and so I went to see my doctor saying like, hey, my physical therapist thinks this needs to be ruled out. And the thing they now want me to go check for, that this doctor has given me a referral for, is the thing I told my doctor over the summertime that I thought that my physical therapist already thought might be going on, but they didn't want to check it for me that time because we're like, we cannot rule out everything, ma'am. And I'm like, okay. And that's how I got the whole pain the pain program thing rolling, because that was something that they suggested at the hospital when I went to get checked that time. And now I'm like, different person who talks to me, and it's a complete different ball game yet again. I don't understand how these doctors reason even anymore. So yeah, my life has been a bit like topsy-turvy, upside down. The start of 2025 has been a very interesting one, in a positive way, I should say. Not in a negative way at all. But yeah, so far, this year has been very, very strange. We'll see how things continue to improve. Hopefully, that's the hope. I do have a physical therapist appointment again on Thursday too. That's actually the day you're going to be seeing this video, to perhaps, figure out how we can start building up muscles again, because now I'm no longer in pain. I can start moving again. That's the hope, because I love working out and dancing. And for the past couple of years, I was always trying it, but every single time I started working out again, that's when things would really go wrong. So, yeah, here's fingers crossed to things just leveling out and being okay again, because that will be lovely. What have I done so far? After the blush, I did my brows with the Soap and Glory Archery brow pencil and a new Essence Make Me Brow. And because I say new because it was in my beauty empties and I didn't have a new one yet. So I went into store to pick up a new one, and whenever I pick it up in store, they always put sellotape on it so no one can open it. And after the brows, I did a bit of my MAC Paintpot Painterly with Orb eyeshadow by MAC. And I just used that to make a nice little base for the eye look I will be doing with my Twilight palette from Colourpop. The new Moon collection has been announced. That's very warm toned, which makes sense for that movie because it's more werewolf focused, of course. So I'm just going to stick to play around with this one. I already did a look with it the other day. I have to say I've used the So Elemental as well, and I was very worried about some of the gritty shimmers that these have. They feel like pressed glitters, but they're a lot easier to work with than I had expected. No fallout. I'm able to pick them up with a brush. So they were actually quite pretty, and I don't know what I want to do today. I think to go with the sweater. How do you like my new sweater? I got it on Vinted. It's a real Norwegian made 100% wool sweater, but I got it secondhand, and it has this really cute closure. I thought it looked very wintry, and the office has been super cold. So, and all we're doing now is grading because it's like test week. So it's lots of grading and like sitting still behind a computer, so you're not moving around as much as I normally do when I teach. So wearing something really warm and cozy was the way to go. So I already used all of like the brownie taupey things in here. So it's either we're gonna go purple or we're gonna go green, and I'm leaning green. So I'm gonna go for green. So let's pull an eye look together, and then I'll round out the video for you after I've also done my lips. Alright, so that is the finished look done. I quickly applied my Tower 28 lip gloss in Pistachio, and I don't know about you, but I feel like my voice is feeling better now that I've been talking for a little bit. So maybe it was just because it was early in the morning and I hadn't spoken to anyone yet, really. But yeah, Twilight palette, this is the green look from it. I think it's very successful. It looks really pretty and a little bit sultry and smoky, so I do like that. So thank you so very much for joining me here today. I need to dash because I'm heading out to work, so I hope you have a great rest of your day, and let me know what you want me to do with these full face makeup looks next. And update. Last night, finally, all of the new Catrice stuff came in stock where I normally buy it from, and that means that hopefully Sunday, if not Tuesday, I'm going to be able to show you all the new bits from Catrice for spring, summer 2025. Because I placed the order, it should come later today. So thanks so much for joining me here. And thumbs up this video in the meantime if you liked it, because that's a great way for me to tell whether you like this sort of concept, yes or no. And then, yeah, I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe if you want to see more by me. And then I hope to see you again very, very soon with a new video. Bye-bye.